Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the Altcoin Express and my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida. This is a live feed. You're looking at EOS, and you're looking at in pink, purple, whatever you want, Ethereum. 1 minute cycles with a red 180 day moving average, and the green 50-day moving average, 30-day moving average. Get all these tangled up. Watch, see what happens, and learn from the visual data. EOS, I'm going to kill you if you stop saying these in reverse. Ethereum currently at 672, and it is on GDAX. We need to run this round. Ooh, flashbang. We're on 5 minutes here. It is coming out of a down cycle into an up cycle. There's no particular, there's a resistance barrier here. Let's go and look at Papa Bear. Papa Bear's got big resistance here. This is kind of orchestrated, as I feel. So he's gone nowhere. Baby Bear's not going anywhere either, so it's down for Baby Bear. There it goes. Backing out. You have to guess what's going to happen. That's the name of the game. If he's going down, if EOS is going down, it's a question of, well, you just watch and learn. It's premature to kind of do anything. They won't go very far anyway. If it does dump, then it dumps, but so we are downfield for 6 hours downfield. So generically it's kind of following Ethereum. Going on pause. Check the others. Idea. Not particularly linked. Ontology. Linked. Guess it's linked. Tron. Not particularly linked. Taking a step back. One more. That's 24 hours. One more. 1.5 days. 16 to 18, that's 2 plus days. 3 days. 1, 2, 2.5 days. Pause. 5 days. Put some range lines in. That's nearly 10 days. It stretches out a bit beyond. So here out nearly a month. This is the descending corridor of Ethereum. This is its relative support level since back here. Let's get out of the way. Beginning of May. I'm going to switch over to, I'm going to switch their respectives around. So they now switch positions. I just put in the lines. So this is now Ethereum and that is EOS. So I like to look at this a lot to kind of get a feel for it. Let your brain take some information in, let it think about it. So generally speaking, EOS has gone down in parallel with Ethereum's cyclical downside, you might say. It's going through cycles. The red 180-day line is down. Let's move in and see what happens as we get closer. See what the perspective is, how it changes. I'm basically looking at the 180-day moving average right now, the red line. I want to see out if there's any bottom to this thing, because presumably we are on an extended down phase. Going in 50%. So Ethereum is pulling off its bottom range of a month ago, where we had that one apparent, well, support is a general relative word because it can go through anything, but for the moment it's holding the course above this line here. Still down. Moving closer. Get the feel that we're starting to get oversold. Maybe this is a bottom. It's a little ways out. Looks like we're about to cross the 180 degree. Here we go. So in 5 minutes we cross the 180-day moving average. I do this kind of thing to get a long-range feel for where we are, how we got there, where things might be going. You need to kind of spend some time looking at it, because a lot of what I do is just based on what my brain says. Do this. It says we've turned, do this. We're going down, do this. It needs information. That's why I sit here hour upon hour watching this stuff, letting it acquire information. Your brain can only tell you stuff if it's got information to analyze, and it does the same as with artificial neural networks. The more data you put in, the more information it's got from which to do its considerably more capable analysis in the black box of the subconscious. Although, quite frankly, you're just looking at a technical situation that's more than obvious. So we're going a bit closer. So generally speaking, EOS has had a sell-off which has paralleled and in somewhat been influenced by the downside of Ethereum. It has now pretty much found a bottom and is coming off the bottom. Sometimes it's disconnected from what Ethereum's doing, sometimes it's connected to it. See here, this sell-off had nothing to do with Ethereum. Ethereum was rising. This was just part of its downside. Ethereum is connected to Bitcoin, of course. What you're seeing is a reflection of where Bitcoin's going in a somewhat over-amplified situation. Ethereum tends to oversell and then it'll overbuy back, or it'll gain more on Bitcoin when it comes back. Ethereum will be at a higher value when we get back to 10,000. When Bitcoin gets back to 10,000, Ethereum will be at a higher level than it was before. That's peaked out at, I think, about 830 something. So my general assessment is that EOS has had a downside. It's lasted most part of a month. It's reached a bottom. It's coming off its bottom. Ethereum, along with Bitcoin or influenced by Bitcoin, is traded down into a lower range. It's holding that lower range. Now, whether Ethereum or Bitcoin is, or whether Bitcoin is going to allow a recovery from here or not, as I said before, I think Bitcoin has been sold off on purpose, and it's been done in cycles, because obviously you can't dump a lot of money in one fell swoop. It takes a lot of ups and downs. I think somebody's just recovering a lot of cash from a lot of Bitcoin, and Ethereum is just following along. That's my kind of gut feeling anyway. Let's go and look at Bitcoin. We can't see much of it on here because it really only allows you a narrow window. But I like to do this as well. You've got to get a feel for where things are going. It kind of helps you anticipate. So you say a lot of this has been controlled. It was allowed to go up a certain amount, and then, well, you know, You could say, well, it went up and this is profit taking. You could say a lot of things. So we might, yeah, there's its top. You can see where it peaked out earlier on. Let's just get in a bit closer. Okay. So there's Bitcoin's top. I mean, it made a staggering upside in 2 months. This is the big seller from that upside. It might just be generally the big seller from the upside, where a lot of people are, but over such a long time frame, it's hard to kind of assign that to a sell-off. Although, you know, there was the big sell-off prior to its bottom out. I mean, these things take time. It's rather difficult to understand these things because, let's face it, it's relatively new. It's not like we've got 10 years worth of data. We've only got 2 months worth of data, if that. So we're looking at the red 12-day moving average versus the 26-day moving average. We'll move in a bit closer on that. So there is still a sell-off. Moving a bit closer. It's starting to show signs of bottoming out. Moving a bit closer. One tends to draw the conclusion that Bitcoin has bottomed out. It's now moving above its 26-day moving average. So hopefully we're going to see a general phased recovery over the rest of this month. It does tend to go up very quickly if it wants to go up. Notice that the downside can be long and protracted, but once it gets the go to go up, it can recover from here to 10,000 in a week. I mean, it can really move when it wants to. So going back, that analysis is the perspective of where we are. So I think that the Bitcoin downside has completed its cycle. It's reached some kind of a bottom. It's turning. It's about to entrench the upside busyness of people wanting to sell off into its upside. And we should expect some fun gains to come from EOS.